All right.
Let's do that one more time.
One more time.
Yeah!
Oh, much better, much better.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to China on the Internet. It's been a long time.
It's been a hot second.
How's it going? You've been away for a while.
I've been away for a while. I was in China, actually, visiting my family, and I went to Vietnam briefly to attend a wedding. I was basically living my best Ali Wong life.
Oh, yes.
Because she's Chinese Vietnamese, which we're going to talk about in a second. Yeah, I did some great traveling. We did some food blogs, though, before I left.
Yes, we did.
Just want to talk about that. If you haven't watched those off-site vlogs, go check it out. We went to some really good restaurants. We went to the Mala Project and Jin's Kitchen.
Yes. A lot of great places.
Really good.
How do you feel being back?
I feel great. I miss the food. I feel like we pre-gamed my trip really well with those off-site lunches.
You didn't have good food like when you were traveling though?
No, I absolutely did. But I feel like now that I'm back, like in the States, I'm like, ugh.
It's like, welcome back to the
I'm
States.
just like making my own food, not really going out to eat because I don't really.
I mean, it's hard to, you know. Yeah, understandable.
Maybe we should go back to one of those places for another.
We should. I'm down to go back again. Yeah.
That dry hot pot was just so yummy. It was so good.
It was like we got a mild too.
We got a mild.
It was still like
so spicy.
It was still super spicy.
Yeah. How are you?
I've been well. I've been busy working on a lot of different things. The short projects here and there.
In Chinatown a lot. I've seen.
I'm in Chinatown at least once a week.
Amazing.
Probably like 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm totally down to go.
You've been reading this book?
I have been reading this book. So Christy was the one who first read the book. And so I'm currently reading. I'm such a slow reader. So I try to read as much as I can when I'm on like the train, and I take. But I laugh at like every other page.
The subway's a great place to read because
it's fantastic.
Other people will look over your shoulder and then they'll read it too.
Yo, it's kind of funny because like this cover is so like Ali Wong that every time I pull out the book, I feel like there's somebody who's like watching me.
Everyone's head
it.
just go. Shh.
Yeah. I kid you not, especially when I'm like laughing out loud.
It's so she's wearing this pink sequin dress, these pink satin heels, and this green velour and pink. I think that's velour couch and curtains behind her, and she just looks gorgeous.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I freaking love it.
I'm glad you bought this. Rob asked me if he could borrow my copy, and I said no. He has to buy his own to support.
And I bought my own to support at Barnes & Noble.
I read this book basically, and I put it down once because I had to get off the train. But I basically read this in one sitting because it's just such a page turner. You know what I love about it is that I read it in her voice.
Yes.
Because it's written in her voice. I think a lot of autobiographies or memoirs, or in this case, these are open letters to her daughters. It's called Dear Girls. She has 2 daughters, Mari and Nikki, thank you, her 2 daughters, who, you know, she actually blurs out their faces whenever she posts photos of them on social media.
I think it's good.
I think it's good. I think it's really interesting.
Admirable that she does that actually as a parent.
I know a lot of celebrities do that as well. They like don't post photos. They don't really reveal their names, but she just blurs out their faces to, you know,
privacy,
protect them. And
100%.
Yeah, that makes sense. So back to what I was saying. You can really hear her voice, her tone of voice. If you've never seen any of her specials, please watch them.
Like,
they're on Netflix. Baby Cobra is the first one.
It's the first one. I saw her live.
I'm seeing her in April.
Get out.
Yeah, I am here. I couldn't get so I waited for 30 minutes to get tickets online. Didn't happen, and then I was really sad, and I posted on social media about it. I was like, please respect my space during this difficult time. I did not get Ali Wong tickets. And then Michelle, our friend Michelle, shout out to Michelle, got an extra ticket, and she said, do you want it? And I said, yes.
That's amazing. In April?
April 1st. It's gonna be the best April Fool's Day.
Oh, on April 1st? Oh,
yeah.
That's going to be so packed with jokes.
This is going to be great. I'm so excited. So
Go on.
If you haven't watched any of her specials, I'm sure they're like on YouTube now too.
But they're on Netflix. On YouTube. Yeah, just go on Netflix. Find it. And if you don't have Netflix, bum off of a friend who does have Netflix.
Everyone has Netflix.
Ali Wong is hilarious. And she's very, very smart. She's very, very eloquent with her words. And she has a very, very unique and full life. And because I saw her I saw she mentioned it in the book, but it was like her first tour that she did after the taping of Baby Cobra. And her first stop was in Boston, and I saw her in Boston at the time.
You saw her? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw her in Boston.
Like the original show.
Yeah, and it was crazy. Like, the crowd was so diverse. There was like all kinds of people, and it was amazing to just see people of all races and backgrounds and women who like just laughing out loud at all of her different jokes. And I laughed at so many of her jokes.
Yeah, it's not just relatable to being like Asians
Asian
or
people.
Chinese people.
Yeah.
And that's what she writes about too in her book. There's an important part where she writes about how it's important to not just write jokes that will appeal to people who identify as the same race as you, right? Like, while there is a nice sense of being seen in the sense of like, oh, I get that joke because I identify with this person, but like if you can't make other people laugh, then like what are you doing? And that's what she said. Like,
how relatable could you be?
Right.
You know?
You need to be relatable to everyone. And I think that's what she does. Like, so much of her stand-up is about being not just an Asian woman, but like just a woman in general. And like a lot of it is specific to her being Asian. But I think what's great about it is that, like you said, you see white women, black women, Latin women, like everyone in the audience is just laughing.
They're laughing and they feel empowered.
She sold out 16 shows in San Francisco. They just had to add another one. That's how popular she is.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
She's killing it. She has like, there's like certain parts that I was reading that I had no idea.
She does go really deep into her background. Like, I didn't know she was the youngest. I didn't know her siblings were like much older than her.
Yeah.
She talks about that, like being a dynamic, how her childhood was like really shaped her life because she didn't really have siblings around that were her age. Yeah. And she always felt like the youngest.
Always the youngest. Yeah. And also how like, because she had older siblings who've made mistakes and had like certain failures, her parents weren't as like harp on her about, oh, you have to make a certain level of success. So therefore, it allowed her to be a little bit more free in terms of what she wanted to do. Yeah. And even though her parents still, they weren't supportive for her to like move to New York to pursue stand-up full time, she still did it anyways, and she was still doing it back in San Francisco. And she's now like super successful because of it. And
I mean, she hustled her early years in New York City when she writes about living in her tiny apartment, going on dates, people, and then trapping her husband.
The first chapter right there, how I trapped your father.
She talks a little bit about it in her stand-ups, but she goes really in depth here. So if you want to know more about how she got started, because she's not an overnight success. This girl has hustled. So it's a really good read. She also has a really great interview on NPR, which we'll link. And she talks about also her upbringing, her parents, how she felt seen at like a young age by like watching, because her parents always made sure that she was watching like Asian American shows.
Like Margaret Cho's show.
Right.
Like when the first Asian American ever, family sitcom ever, they all sat in like a small little like TV to like watch it. So...
And they also talk about her least favorite question.
Yes.
Which is your favorite part of the book, which is also my favorite part of the book.
So what is this least favorite question that she has?
The question is, so Ali, what is it like being an Asian American female comic? And her answer, in short, is not really an answer. It's more like another question. She says, would you ever ask a white man what's it like being a white man in the comedy world? And it puts things in perspective, because
very much so.
I think it implies when people ask the question, not that it's intentional, it implies, oh, this is not the norm. Like, this is like you're in like a white man's world, which is like what she's changing. It's not just that world.
I mean, I know this too, because there's people have asked me the same question, like, what's it like being an Asian American as an actor? And I feel like a lot of them they want to hear a story about how messed up or racist like a certain event was. But what she's trying to say is that like, well, there's like, I paved my way. I have my story. And that's what goes back to what you were saying about how you shouldn't just look at it just from my race or just from like how I look like. It's like, who are you outside of those factors? And that, I think, is what makes it more interesting. So, and she dedicates this whole thing to her daughters.
Right, because they're open letters.
It's open letters. So it's really cool that like she's talking to her daughters about, oh, here's the advice I want to give you to like not look at just being Asian to travel the world and to like gain more perspective. But I feel like she was also talking to me too. As I'm reading, I'm like, I want to be your son or something like that.
It's super interesting how the letters are so specific. Like she talks about her time traveling to Vietnam in college, and she's Chinese and Vietnamese, and how it is so specific. But reading it, you feel like she is talking to you, and you almost
100%.
forget that she's talking to her daughters.
I took pictures of certain like paragraphs like on my phone just so I could keep it. I've like written certain things that she's like had, like certain notes that she's had. She has this one chapter where it's like literally one page, and it's about, okay, this chapter is gonna be quick, but I have to let you girls know about like how to pick the best Asian restaurants. And it's like a chart. I don't want to spoil too much,
it's
but
on it's on BuzzFeed. Like that specific chart has circulated on the internet.
Oh, nice, amazing. So I guess I'm not spoiling anything.
No, you're not.
It's just.
Do we want to read the one about Chinese restaurants?
Yes.
Because that one is so true.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's find this.
It's literally like one page.
Here it is. All right. Chinese restaurant. Good signs that it's a good, authentic Chinese restaurant. Number 1, there's a tank full of live fish in the front.
Yep.
Dumpling Palace on Mass Ave in Boston.
Yes.
The fish tank is in the back, but it's still there.
Oh, man.
The waiters rock a maroon bow tie and vest.
Yep.
The bathroom has a pearly pink opaque soap. I know. The thing is, I can smell that soap that she's talking about. It's loud, but there's no music playing, like ever. It's just like loud. Besides water, they serve Hennessy, imitation apple cider, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
The pork and shrimp will arrive right away, but it takes an hour to get a glass of water. And I will add that when the water arrives, it'll be warm.
Yeah.
Never. If you ask for ice water, they'll be like.
Well, I think that's more like in China. Like if you ask for ice water.
Here they're kind of used to it.
They got used to asking for ice water.
Bad signs for a Chinese restaurant. Do you want to read these ones?
There's truffle oil in the dim sum.
You know what's funny is that Din Tai Fung now has truffle dim sum.
Really?
Yeah, they do. It's so expensive.
Is it good?
I don't eat truffle, so I don't know, but my sister likes it.
Okay, well, I guess I have to try it, but certain prices.
I think that's the line. Din Tai Fung is like, wait, they can get away with it because they are so authentic because they're Din Tai Fung. All right, next one.
The dim sum is being served on trays. Yes. And the wait staff asks you, how's everything going? And says things like, thank you. Nice to see you. Or did you leave room for dessert?
Because of course you left room for dessert. It's a separate stomach. Also, she just talks about how it's nice to have a husband who understands that beans belong in dessert.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely a lot of like, I read that part, I was like, yo, that's so
I'm just like
so true.
laughing after, right? Just like thinking about being so joyful after reading this book is great.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, pick up your copy.
Please do.
It's a really quick read, despite the fact that it's taken Rob a while.
It's taken me so long to read, but I always.
You're just a slow reader. It's okay.
I'm very.
I love
slow.
to read. I just do it like.
I still have page turner moments, but I still would be like every 15 minutes I might
read
like
it again.
5 pages.
It's one of those books, you know.
Yeah. Well, I also sometimes when I finish reading a certain section, I go back and reread it like immediately after because I might be like, ooh, wait, that was a good section. Let me read it again, like fully, you know. So I'm so slow at. I need to be faster at reading though.
And it's cool to see how she's brought her voice into this book because some memoirs and some autobiographies like kind of sound very like put together, and I think it's like she's so crass, she's so upfront, kind of vulgar, but it's like that's why she's funny.
That's who she is.
That's who she is, truly.
Yeah. She talks about that right at the beginning, like right as she's writing the book. She's like, oh, how should I write this book? I don't know, but you know, if I am that type of person who could be kind of stupid, and I might ask stupid questions or say like quote unquote dumb things. And that's who I am. Like,
and she's like, and I'm too lazy to Google it.
I'm too lazy to Google it. So if this isn't a word, whatever. So respect.
She does sound. I will say she does come off very eloquent.
That's the thing. Very smart, very very eloquent. UCLA, degree studying Asian American studies. So she woke.
Yeah, she's great.
She woke AF. Yes.
There's been a lot of Asian and Chinese people in the media recently. I don't know. When I was in China, I kind of switched off my Western social media, like Instagram. I would like post things, but the internet is so slow. I don't really scroll through.
VPN.
Yeah, I'd use VPN, but it was the VPNs can get. They don't always work.
Kind of glitchy sometimes.
So it was mostly on WeChat. And this just recently on Weibo, it's been trending. The news about Godfrey Gao's sudden death, trending about people being really upset and really sad about it. Rightfully so, because he's only 35 years old, but because of the nature of how he passed.
Yes. So a little bit of backstory about who he is. For those who don't know, he is a Taiwanese Canadian, I believe. Taiwanese Canadian model who turned actor. And he's been in the game for a minute. He was the first Asian model to ever
model for Louis Vuitton.
That was back in 2011. First of all, why did it take so long? But second of all, it's just incredible that he was the first person, the first model.
And a very luxury, very expensive,
high-end
French brand. Everyone knows Louis Vuitton, LV.
Yeah, and it's always been considered, is that what you do?
It's like the LA thing, but
I was
LV. Like, they're like their logos. That's LA, but this is LV, Louis Vuitton. Anyway, first Asian model.
First Asian model to be on Louis Vuitton. So
and he's gorgeous.
Yep, he's a very. You know what's crazy?
What?
Every time I check out on Google Asian haircuts, if I'm trying to get a different style, I always see his face.
I mean, he's pretty cut, and his hair is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, this dude is the first image I see on Asian haircuts is this dude's face.
He's kind of like the poster child for Asian men,
very much so. This guy's a good-looking dude,
and Chinese too, or Taiwanese.
One day,
it's very, very sad, very tragic news that he's only 35 years old and he passed away from sudden cardiac arrest while he was on set filming this new reality TV show, called Chase Me.
Yep.
Kind of sounds like a version. If you don't watch it, I didn't actually knew it was a thing because it's such a new show. It just
came out this year.
Came out this November. It was only 3 weeks into filming when this happened, but I think from what it sounds like some sort of obstacle course, chasing thing, kind of like American Ninja Warrior,
running around,
that kind of situation. So it's long hours because it's a reality TV show. So it's how when you watch The Bachelor or America's Next Top Model, it's pretty much 24 hours a day when they're filming them, and then they're
filming your life, getting all different moments.
So they have 16-hour work days. But it's a reality TV show, so there are no stunt doubles.
Yeah.
It's like The Amazing Race in the sense that you are doing your own stunts because that is the whole premise of the show.
Yeah.
And some people on Weibo have been really upset because they're blaming the network and the TV show for his death because they think he was overworked and that he wasn't getting enough rest, and some of these reality TV shows are too strenuous on the body.
I think it is.
He's 35 years old,
The thing is that he's not the only case where it happened too.
Right.
Not to the extreme of where somebody just dies on set. That's more on his case, which is a little bit rare. But that is something that is pretty prevalent in the Asian entertainment world. There's really long hours,
really extreme
conditions and scenarios. It's different being in America, say as an actor being in America. If you join the union, for example, the Screen Actors Guild, SAG, you have certain rights that gets protected and laws where you can't work for X amount of hours. You have to take a break after a couple of hours or so. You have to have a warm trailer that's heated. You have to be given water or something. But in places like China, where entertainment is just in the past 5-10 years really started building up momentum because of the money and economy
and the viewers and the way that it's more accessible on their phones and smartphones and tablets.
And because of the accessibility, there's a lot of competition.
Yes.
So every network, every show is trying to pump out all these episodes, make it the most grand, epic type of show, but therefore they're not taking in consideration the talent, the human aspect of things.
They're sacrificing certain elements,
Yeah, so
it's very complicated. I mean, I don't know much about the Chinese reality TV show scene. I think you're right in that there is a demand for content to be pumped out at a really fast speed. I mean, they only started filming November 8th, and I think how many episodes have already been out?
Has any episodes been out?
Yeah, 4 episodes.
Have been out or have been filmed?
Broadcasted.
Oh, because they broadcasted live.
But so that might be part of the element. So it's really quick turnaround. Everything is kind of live, I guess.
Seems like it.
So it just kind of seems like the conditions weren't necessarily conducive to him
I don't
to
think
being
so.
a safe environment,
I could also imagine as like a model and an actor, you're traveling a lot.
right.
So as you're traveling, you're moving around a lot, and then he agreed to sign on for this.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Mhm.
In Zhejiang province, which is actually the capital for reality TV shows in China, so they always have these like
Right.
types of all these different shows. But that being said, like it's very, very taxing on the body.
Very sad incident. I'm hoping that maybe this will bring light to some of these regulations that should be enforced more if they don't even have them in the first place.
Yeah, there needs to be one because
Right.
I'm not just saying just for China, but also for Korea, Taiwan, like just Singapore.
Everyone really, yeah.
Asia in general, they've been developing so fast, but because it's developing so fast, there's certain things that the people have to catch up with in terms of like traditions and culture and certain standards of living and working. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, rest in peace,
Rest in
Godfrey.
peace, sir.
Hope we can learn from this, and
Yeah.
yeah,
You're still my dude.
still be remembered. Yes.
Yeah.
Onto a different side of
on a
TV
lighter note,
to
though.
a different type of television show.
Mhm.
Not filmed live, not reality. Although it seems pretty realistic when I watched the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer yet.
You haven't watched the trailer?
Of course not. I was waiting for this moment.
You wait. I sent it to you on Instagram.
And
though.
I purposely didn't
Oh,
watch
okay,
it.
okay. We're talking about Awkwafina's new Comedy Central show called Awkwafina is Nora from Queens,
which I think is great. I actually auditioned for that show.
I know. I remember. I
Yeah.
helped you with your with your sides.
Yeah. I'm
excited to see it. Okay, so here is the trailer.
Yes.
So we talked about Awkwafina. Oh no! Pause. I remember seeing like so many breakdowns for like background and like speaking roles for this TV show. It was filming over the summer.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
We talked about Awkwafina a little bit earlier this year when we talked about the farewell. When we talked about her new music that came out. She has a In Fina We Trust. It's like her new album. My favorite song is Ghost. It's just hilarious. If you listen to the words, it has like a really like poppin' beat, but the words are hilarious too. She's talking about like ghosting guys who are treating her like trash. Here's the trailer. We're gonna watch it. It's only a minute long. I feel like they're gonna release more and more and more. But Awkwafina's in it. Bowen Yang is in it.
BD Wong.
Well, he's not in this trailer, but Bowen Yang is in this. And when I saw it, I was like, ah!
Bowen Yang, good old man.
He's so great.
He's playing the more successful cousin of Awkwafina.
Yes.
In this.
Cousin or brother?
Cousin.
Cousin. Okay. Here's the trailer. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited.
Hey, Nora. Man, your parents got you on CHINOSITY too?
Aren't you like 27?
You need help buying liquor?
No.
Oh. I live with my parents. Grandma loves Nora.
Yo.
Purpose like you, dumb. Hey, you a job. Pull over now, or I'm calling the cops.
Yo, that's her car.
Oh my god. My social security number, do you have it?
Bowen.
Know your own social security number?
A lot of people don't know their social security numbers. And if I can make it work, anyone can make it work.
They're both from Orange is the New Black.
This check.
Yes.
I want crispy bills, none of that wrinkly that you pull out of your head.
Business with you.
She's great.
To kill the villagers, they're peaceful people.
I love killing.
Oh, wait. There he is.
January 27th. Everybody
can't
on
wait.
Comedy Central.
I'm sure that there will be more trailers. That was like literally a minute.
I'm hyped.
This
already.
just is a good teaser. I
hyped
think right
already.
now, like the Christmas season and the holiday season is too hype, and there are too many Christmas movies and there are too many holiday movies. So I think they're just like slowly injecting it into the
sure.
content stream, and then once New Year's comes, it's gonna be like,
Oh yes.
Awkwafina. I'm so hyped because it looks so
This trailer
upbeat,
just came
funny.
out
Literally yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah.
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 I imagine it's gonna be like kind of like how Always Be My Maybe was. It was just like it was like late May, and then like more and more trailers just kept dropping until it was released
Until
in
it
June.
happened. Yes.
So
I'm excited for this.
I'm so pumped.
Very pumped. I'm curious to see like how her character develops
Mm-hmm.
as this series goes on, and her interaction with the rest of the cast, like the family. I think this is gonna be really, really fun and exciting. I'm very excited for this because I think this tells a very different type of Asian American family from what people are used to. Like, yes, we have Fresh Off the Boat, and we've talked about before how they're gonna be canceled after the final season. So it's kind of nice because like
6 seasons though.
6 seasons is a very long time.
Those kids grew up on that set basically.
Hudson Yang went from like yay tall, because I met him in person. He's like 6 feet. He's like 6'2" or something.
Crazy.
But you know, when we see one show close, you know, one door closes, another door opens. So we have the ABC Family sitcom, Fresh Off the Boat, closed, but now we have a new show with Awkwafina coming out on Comedy Central, and I like it because it's more vulgar. I think it shows a different type of Asian American family where like
I think that specifically Chinese American too.
Specifically Chinese American?
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. We have a Chinese American
I believe
family.
so, because she is. So a lot of people don't know Awkwafina. Well, obviously her name is not really Awkwafina. Her name is Nora Lum. So she is Nora. So I'm wondering if like it's obviously comedy, but I think you're right that it is going to be based off of her real life. Where
It's like semi-autobiographical.
Yeah, she's not like playing a character like she was in The Farewell. Like in The Farewell, there was some sense of truth there, but she was completely stepping into a character. I think this is kind of like.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a little bit more her. She's from Queens.
Exactly. She lives with her
smokes.
grandmother and her father. Her,
And that's why I think it's very much like her life.
Yes.
And
that's why I think it's specifically Chinese too. And
But
Bowen Yang is Chinese as well.
I also think that's why it's so authentic as well.
Agree.
Because I also know a lot of families, like a lot of kids, who do feel that way because they don't fit into the typical model minority myth and the stereotype of working really hard, getting good grades, and becoming a doctor or a lawyer. She isn't that person, and there's a lot of Asian American people who aren't that as well. So I think having that gives them power and a chance to also like feel empowered too, seeing it.
I also like how like Bowen Yang's character, even from those 5 seconds, like that's so Bowen Yang. Like he is not afraid to be himself in a character.
Yeah.
I think he brings himself into every single character, and I don't think it's a stereotype. I don't think it's like a trope. I think it's just like him being true to himself, being like, this is who I am, and this is the character I'm playing. But Bowen exists. Young Bowen exists in that person.
Bowen.
So I think I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there will be some Mandarin or some Cantonese in it, because I know
hope
Awkwafina
so.
speaks a little.
She
I know
speaks a little
Bowen
bit,
does speak a lot of Mandarin, fluently. So I don't know if he speaks Cantonese.
I think he speaks Mandarin.
I know he speaks Mandarin.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he speaks any Canto. So we'll see.
I doubt it. Cantonese is hard.
It's so I know. Props to you for being able to speak Cantonese.
It's just from the family.
Oh man, one
yeah.
day I will learn.
One day. Or you have Mandarin, so I think
I've got
you're good.
Mandarin.
You got
I'm good enough.
Mandarin. You got a whole 1.3 billion people who can understand you.
Yeah.
Versus
But there
me.
was another TV show that I just started watching, and they like spoke. Oh, it wasn't a TV show. I was watching The Princess Diaries in it. Like
somebody spoke like Cantonese in it?
No. They were. It was the second one. First of all, I forgot that Sandra Oh was in Princess Diaries 1. Such an iconic role for her. She was the vice principal, Gupta, and she's so funny. And I'm like, I forgot that was Sandra Oh, because in my mind it was like, oh, it was that Asian lady who played the vice principal, because that was what it when it came out. It's like, oh, there's the one Asian character.
Yeah.
So, but now like that was Sandra Oh, because
Back in the day.
Yeah, but in the second one they have this this like elaborate party at the Princess Diaries, the second movie, and they're like, please welcome the singer from China, and it turns around and it's like this white guy singing in perfect Mandarin, and I was like, was this a joke? Is this dubbed? Like, who is he actually? And then they didn't comment on it. They just went to the next scene, and I was like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
That's so random.
But yeah, Mandarin in TV shows is becoming more and more popular.
It is becoming a lot more popular.
Politician did it. I think we talked about this.
I mean, even my small little role that I have on Law and Order, they wanted me to speak Mandarin.
Oh,
they
right,
wrote
right.
out in Mandarin. Like,
Right.
they could have mentioned it in Cantonese.
Oh yeah, Rob had his episode
on
Law and Order, since we were on our little hiatus.
Small little bit in it, but you could check it out. I am.
What
in
was
it.
the episode called? It's Chinatown.
Counselor is Chinatown. Yeah. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out.
Margaret
Let us
Cho's
know.
in it.
Margaret Cho's in it. She's great. She's fantastic.
Michael To's in it.
Michael To's in it.
Rob China's in it.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in today.
Yes.
This is China on the internet.
You can find us at CHINOSITY on all the platforms and on Instagram, CHINOSITY News.
Make sure to order or pick up your Ali Wong copy of Dear Girls.
Support your local bookstore by just buying the physical copy. Do it. You won't
and
regret
Barnes
it.
and Nobles, it's like 30% off. So
Yeah, I bought it from Barnes and Noble. So yeah.
We'll see you next week. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are the trailer and Ali Wong's new book.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
For sure. Hey.
You know what we didn't say this time?